Speaking of announcements, Nintendo GameCube. They did it.
It was 6:30 in the morning here. I almost screamed. My partner had to come in and she's like, "Hey, what's going on? The kids are sleeping." And I was like, "Sorry, I got like a muscle spasm. Sorry." And she's like, "Okay, just keep it down." I almost yelled. I've never been so happy in my life.
This was
muscle spasm. That's what we're going with.
I'm gonna tell your children that when they get older.
This was the one thing I was like
that sound, that
on.
GameCube sound. It's like Pavlov's dog. It's like ding.
Yeah,
there's that, and then my son being born. I'll tell him that right to his face. I'll tell him that.
Wow.
Jesus. Homie, sit down for a second. I gotta tell you something.
When Ed and I were talking about NSO on Switch 2, maybe like 2 weeks ago, Ed, I've been so adamant that they were not going to put GameCube and beyond on the NSO because
the releases of the games.
That is the prime generation to like HD remaster and not really have to do much.
Exactly. That was my logic too. I was like,
we were counting the GameCube and Wii games on the Switch already, and it's over 30.
Yeah,
I was so
from that generation
to pay for Nintendo GameCube games on the Switch too.
Me too.
I was so ready, and then Nintendo's like, "No, hey. Take it easy, big guy. Have a seat. Here's a silver plate." And I was like, "Oh, I didn't know we were friends like that." Bro.
I mean, exactly. I was waiting. I was definitely going to get a Twilight Princess and a Wind Waker remaster on the Switch. They're going to take my money because you saw what Corey and Stephanie, you guys were on the stream with me live when like Prime went live, and I was like, "Wait, Prime is available right now?" I actually jumped on my Switch and bought it on the stream.
Ever come out of anybody.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of Nintendo GameCube games that haven't been released, and I think with them bringing this to NSO, a lot of people hopefully will be able to play that version. And games like Eternal Darkness, probably Twin Snakes, if Konami and Nintendo work something out. And then there's just like some other games, even at Nintendo's launch, that just never came out. Or has ever been released. So people now getting a chance to play it. I mean, Wind Waker, yes. Soul Calibur 2, great decision to get a lot of people into this for this re-release with it. And then like I was telling Corey,
wait, which game?
The real Soul Calibur 2.
So run them hands, dog. Let's go back. Soul Calibur 2 was the game.
Josh,
but this is the proper one with Link, and not Spawn or Heihachi.
I'm going to reserve my thoughts on that one.
Yeah, so this is a good chance, and like we don't know if they're raising prices or anything, but for right now, it seems like it's still the $50 per year. For it, I think this is going to get more people. If GameCube could come, now people probably are hoping Dreamcast could come, because then Switch, in a sense, will almost be the ultimate game machine, for people to play retro games. For it, I mean, we still don't got TurboGrafx 16, we don't got the Neo Geo yet, even 3DO and all of that stuff. But I think that's all fine. Fire Emblem Path to Radiance, man, I think
we even have like more games coming.
That's what I was about to say. I like the sentiment, Ed, but they need to actually release more games, for these expanded consoles to make it worth the while. So here's how Nintendo can with the Switch 2, here's how Nintendo can actually be the kingmaker as far as like all these freaking like consoles going right now. If they utilize their virtual console environment and actually make it pop. I mean, it's nice that we have like a lot of tried and true classics and stuff like that, but they also got to take the risks, because like if we're looking at like they're going to put, I guarantee you, Skies of Arcadia is going to show up on this for the GameCube side of it and stuff like that. But they also need to they also need to do stuff that actually brings them in, and they actually have to have that library, because I mean, I turn my Switch on all the time, and I only have less than 30 games on a classic console.
I think they'll probably also bring the Japanese unreleased games here that was on these consoles, because they've been doing that lately. Games that were on these platforms, but we're only in Japan. I think they're going to do something like this with GameCube, so that's incentive for people to like even try some of those games on it.
So yeah, so before we kind of talk more about the GameCube stuff, they will have enhanced visuals apparently. So these games look great running. I wonder if that emulation that they're using, I wonder how they're doing that. I mean, obviously people have been doing it forever. So,
Dolphin.
And Corey, you got your dream. You said that you wish they could customize the controls, and it's going to let you do that.
Yeah. And customizable controls, save states, obviously. The big one though is the GameCube controllers also being sold through NSO.
Hell yeah!
That's good.
It's going to be. I'm assuming it's going to be about $50 because that's what the N64 controllers were.
Not to mention, if I'm not mistaken, isn't this just exclusive to the Switch 2?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It is worth noting that the GameCube is exclusive to the NSO expansion pack specifically.
Yeah.
So
it's got that chat button, game chat.
Yeah. I'm excited for GameCube. I'm shocked they did this, honestly, but now I think that they did GameCube. This opens the door for stuff like, like Ed said, Dreamcast, but also like Wii stuff. And
I'm really curious to see how this evolves throughout Switch 2's life.
Yeah.
Same.
Watching this with 3 games is a choice. And listen, Wind Waker, people love Wind Waker, right? Soul Calibur 2, okay, you got the Defend of the Soul Calibur 2. F-Zero feels really out of left field, especially when you're launching these games on the service the same day as Mario Kart 9.
What would you change then? Just out of curiosity.
What would I change? I mean, I would have added 7 more games. I would have had it at a nice round 10. There's no reason that Sunshine can't be a part of this, as Ed noted earlier. That's
but historically, Nintendo has when they first launched NSO with N64, or that wasn't the first one, but they always started with a couple. But your argument is valid because
I've never liked it either.
They should have.
Yeah, I used to say that. I guess I'm just not surprised anymore. I'm like, okay, they'll add to it.
They should have led with Luigi's Mansion.
I'm also going to say, not have it. I feel like you had the perfect layup here to have Metroid Prime 2 as a part of this, because you have Metroid Prime
at least.
You have 4 coming out this fall. You need to have a way for people to experience that
story. People were begging
Mm-hmm.
for the Metroid Prime trilogy to have been finished by the time Metroid Prime 4 came out. Like I said, Nintendo's going to bonehead this shit every time. They are.
But as usual,
it's really a bonehead. It's just they're not. It feels like they're just not thinking. If people really want to play it, they'll go back and play it. I feel like Nintendo doesn't understand the value that their fan base puts on these classic properties. F-Zero being here is huge. I've been begging for F-Zero since GX to get a new one.
But I think Nintendo has plans for some stuff. They just don't want to say anything. I understand that I understand we would love to have this stuff, but Nintendo is in control of their marketing. They know when to roll stuff out when they're ready to roll it out to get people hyped.
Do they?
Okay, you know what? Actually, yeah, I'm going to ask the question here, and let's not make this a really long talk topic. But what is the reason for them allowing us to play The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker when people have been begging for a remaster on the Switch? What was
we're getting the not superior HD version from
which they will re-release. I guarantee you, we're still going to get re-releases of some of these games.
It just doesn't make any sense.
I think Nintendo's not just focused on that because they have a new console. They want to focus the marketing on that for right now.
Mm-hmm. Well, plus people will buy the Switch just for Zelda, also, right?
Sure.
Right.
And not NSO. I mean, as many units as the Switch sold, they still only have 25 or 30 million subscribers, and not all those are expansion
pass. A lot of those are the cheap version.
Yeah. So I mean, if you're going to try
to trade Pokemon,
so any final thoughts on GameCube before we move on? Because I do want to talk
Pokemon
about
Coliseum exists.
Yeah,
Star Fox Adventures better being there, or hands are being thrown with.
I'm glad it's coming. I'm glad it's coming.
Yeah, just a one-word answer from each of you.
About what?
What about Smash Melee?
Ooh.
Send the friend code, throw hands. It's easy.
Let's go.
Send the friend code. Throw hands. It's easy. Pink slips. Pink slips, dog.
Christmas morning 2025.
Immediately would break the internet. Fact.
They will wait until there is a lull in their schedule, and they'll do it as a shadow drop.
Yeah.
That game would be so much. LAN parties would go insane.
I don't know if they would do it yet, or they would do it.
No, they won't. They're gonna wait.
Yeah,
they're gonna wait, and they're gonna drop it.
I don't think they're gonna bring it at all because of Ultimate.
If you want to see how you can become a Patreon producer, head on over to patreon.com/BossRushNetwork. The Patreon producers for this month are Adriel Munger, Austin Campbell, Celeste Roberts, Sana Dierig, Francisco Santillan, Matthew Keel, and Christian S. Thanks for your continued support of the Boss Rush Network.